Hey guys, welcome back.
What's up? We are back again.
You took my intro.
Oh, continue. My bad.
Sorry, guys. Hey guys, it's Matthew and this is Steven here. We are once again back to review another movie, one of our all-time favorite horror films of all time,
Insidious.
So, Insidious is directed by James Wan and it stars Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne as the two main characters.
Yes. So this movie is about a family and their son Dalton.
Yeah.
Dalton, he was upstairs playing. They just moved into this new house, and he was wondering, being adventurous around the house. Goes up into the attic, and he ends up getting hurt. Turns out it's a coma, so he goes into a coma, and so now it's just the family like having to deal with all kinds of just problems relating to the coma and just trying to help their son out. But they're also dealing with other things around, and they're just kind of like going insane, if you will.
Mm-hmm. As we move further into the story, though, we realize by other characters' explanations that Dalton is actually not in a coma. He actually is, he's in a place called the Further, which is basically like a place on Earth that is meant for like the dead, not the living. And he travels there because he has some type of special like power to like travel when he's like asleep.
Yeah, he can time travel.
So this character named Lynn, like her, I don't remember her name, but
Lynn Shay.
Yeah, Lynn Shay, sorry. Lynn Shay, she explains in the movie because she's like a supernatural expert, and like her teammates, Specs and this other guy's character's name I cannot remember. Sorry, but Specs is played by Leigh Whannell, and the other character, they are both like experts on like photography, and they're like working to help Lynn Shay uncover supernatural secrets, and so they basically explain to this family that that Dalton is not in a coma, but he's rather just his spiritual body is gone from his regular body, and that they basically, in order to get him back, they have to go to the Further and retrieve his spiritual body to make everything go away.
Yeah. So we are introduced with Patrick Wilson, Josh. We have Renai and their 3 kids, Dalton, Foster, and Callie. We are also introduced with Josh's mom. But yeah, Josh's mom, she's got some important things to add to the story. Lynn Shay, which is also like a friend of hers. She did an amazing job in this movie.
Yeah, she basically, like, she has a big part of the story. She like she knows Josh's mother so well, and that's like why they're so close to each other. And of course she is like a big part of the story because she helps like explain the Further and like what its meaning is and like what the demons are and like why they're doing this. Yeah. And there are some seriously like intense and gripping scenes in this movie that just had me on the edge. And like, this is a movie that came out in 2010, right? And to this day, every single time I watch it, I still get chills down my spine. And
oh yes,
overall, this is I mean, I hate to say this, but this is probably like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. One of.
Definitely, by far. This is probably, oh man, honestly, this is probably the scariest movie I've ever seen. This movie really had me on edge in the theaters. Oh my gosh, like the whole movie was just the loud music and just the way that
the loud music, the cinematography, like the special effects, the makeup, and everything. Like
James Wan is a genius.
Like the way they handled the Further, like it was so well made. Like they have like dream sequences, which are not even like really crappy. Because like whenever you see a dream sequence, you're just like expecting the character to wake up, but like it's a story. You know, it's so well made. Like everything that they did is just perfect. The score is awesome. You know. And we don't mean to gush the movie, guys. You know, if you guys have not seen Insidious, we strongly implore that you watch it because it's really scary.
So, Matthew, what is the scariest part of the movie for you?
For me, it's like I usually go with like the dream sequence about like the mom telling her her son and like the wife about like the dream she had with Dalton and like that demon figure being in the corner and pointing at him and just saying that he wants his body. Like that, for some reason, has always like scared me the most. Yeah. Or it would probably be a couple sequence with the Further, like. For example, like, again, this movie is filled with, this video review is filled with, it's filled with spoilers. So, it's filled with spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled, just do not watch the video anymore. But, like, there's a couple scenes in the Further that really got under my skin as well. It's, like, this scene, like, where we see, like, this couple, right, just sitting on a couch, and, like, this one person has, like, a gun, and, like, for some reason they just shoot the people in the Further, but everything is, like, a still image, so we just see the still image of them just being dead. We don't actually see them like moving around or anything, but there's like all these sorts of like weird and creepy smiles and everything, and it's like, and of course like the score along with those scenes just makes it even more terrifying. And you know, speaking of like scares, I have to talk to you about this. This movie is filled with jump scares, and you might be thinking like, oh, jump scares, no, those are the worst things ever. James Wan, the way he handles jump scares are respectable to his younger audience and his older and mature audiences.
Yeah.
You know, the scares are not false; they feel real. You know,
Definitely.
I don't mind jump scares. False scares are one thing, but if you make the jump scares actually something that you're supposed to be afraid of, then to me they're okay.
Yes, definitely.
They actually add to it. Like if they're just false scares every single time, then that's not okay.
The loud noises aren't always bad. Like you can have loud noises that just startle you, but as long as it's scary, showing something scary, then it's not a false scare, false jump scare.
Yeah. So Steven, what exactly did you find scary about this movie?
The scariest part?
Yeah. The
scariest part for me was this is probably the part that scared me the most out of the movie, that really startled me the most and got me on edge. Was the part when Renai was just at home alone with the baby, and she's just sitting there playing her piano, just kind of like recording her song or whatever, just practicing, and she's got the baby monitor on top of the piano, and it just starts like a static noise. I'm like, oh gosh, like what is happening? We got some paranormal going on. And then she's like trying to like tweak it to where like she's trying to
understand it more.
And so that voice starts like coming in. It's like, I want it. I guess it's like talking about her baby. And so she like goes like to the staircase, and like looks up, and like just like the loud, I want it. And that just like scared the crap out of me. I literally jumped so much when I saw that part.
Like the first time you saw it, you must have been yeah.
Like that scared the crap out of me.
Like even after all these years, like I said before, like rewatching it over and over again, there are still scenes that to this day still keep me on edge. And like I didn't think that would happen, like because like we've seen this movie so many times, like but you know, those scares are still there. Like like James Wan, like I said, he knows how to deliver suspense, and this is like by far, in my opinion, one of his best works.
Yeah, and this was a movie I'd never seen before. Like everything was so original to me, and everything was like so fresh, and it was just like a new movie, and everything was just so scary about this movie. Like everything, like there's so many like scary parts and suspense. It's a really good movie, really well put together.
And you guys might disagree, like, but like it's just based on the movies that we've seen personally, like this is definitely like up there for one of our favorite scary movies. It's by far not the most perfect horror movie of all time, and there are flaws with it, and we will get to that soon. But just know that for what it is and for what James Wan could do back in about 7 years ago, it's really well made, and like we just think that you guys should give it a try.
All right, so Matthew, what are some flaws with this movie, or things that just kind of like threw you off?
There are very few flaws when it comes to watching Insidious for me, but the first flaw that comes to mind, obviously, is probably like towards the beginning of the movie, like with like Josh and Renai. Like obviously, like Josh is not home very often, like to see the problems that's being
because he's at work.
He's at work, of course. She's a stay-at-home mom, so it would make sense like why he wouldn't be seeing it as much.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to get at here is that like she is like basically begging him to like move the house because like she's afraid for her children, she's afraid for her like own well-being. And she keeps seeing all this weird stuff, and like it just takes him so long to finally believe it. And it could be because like he's just trying to flush it out because maybe he was thinking back to like when he was a kid of all this horrible stuff.
Yeah, the same stuff going on.
And I know he said in the movie that people handle situations differently, but for me personally, I just feel like all this, like the alarms and everything, like her wife seeing creepy images. I know it's hard to believe, but it's just like this is your wife, this is your family we're talking about here. You would want them to feel safe, so I would start listening after the first problem. But then again, it kind of works for the story, I guess. Some people might have not even noticed this flaw, but I noticed it, and it kind of bothered me a little bit.
Different characters have different morals.
Yeah.
Handled situations differently.
And like I said, everyone does handle their situation differently, but it's just like, if this is like your family, you would want to like listen,
Yeah.
Regardless of how stupid it sounds, or like how ridiculous it sounds, you should listen.
Yeah, this movie was so good. There's barely anything to really, to really criticize about it negatively. Well, there's not really anything much. So, yeah. Everything was pretty good with this movie. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's very few flaws, and we really enjoyed this movie, and we still watch it to this day. We watch it like at least once a year, and it's definitely a movie to like watch around Halloween time or just like with friends or something like that. So, yeah, definitely. If you guys have not seen Insidious, we implore you to check out this movie. Definitely. All right, so my final thoughts on this movie is that this movie was very well put together by James Wan. He's an amazing director. and he continues to just keep putting out amazing projects, just like Insidious.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was just so great. Everything in every aspect, acting, just the story. The story was great in general. The sequence and events of everything, how everything goes down, it was just well put together. Very scary throughout. I wasn't bored at all. From the minute you go and watch this movie, like it kind of picks up with a couple like suspenseful images, but just throughout the whole movie, it was just really, really scary. And I was on edge the whole time, from start to finish. It's one of those start to finish scary movies. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
All right.
I loved it.
Well, for me, like I said, like I just the characters themselves, it's like the craft. You know, like you can continue to use the same horror cliches in a movie, but as long as it's like the craft is nice, then that's what makes a movie special. The special effects, the score, the characters, the direction, the cinematography. In my opinion, everything was well put together, and James Wan, like I said, he continues to like prove that he is a great director when it comes to horror
Definitely.
and other genres. And I have very few problems with the movie, and I really love this movie. So
yeah,
with the very few flaws that I have with it, I'm gonna give Insidious an 8.5 out of 10.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching our review of Insidious. We hope you enjoyed it. And be sure to leave us some comments down below talking about next movie you guys want us to review, and to just talk about the movie in general. If you guys disagree, if you guys agree.
Also, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to support this channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
And now we're off to the further, guys. See ya. Dude, it's this way. Come on.
Oh.
Close.